Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm coming at you with a video. It's been a little while since I've done a video. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but starting this week, I am actually recommitting myself to YouTube. I'm going to try to put a video out every 3 days. My wife's going to help me try to keep pumping videos out and stop making excuses to not put videos out, like I'm too tired or whatever. And, you know, I've had a lot of things I've needed to film. One thing that I needed to film, which I finally got around to do, was the Luke Ryan's Akira Kurosawa Appreciation Night. I filmed it, and then it got deleted. I don't want to go into how it got deleted, but it was a mistake I made, and so it ended up getting deleted. And so this is my, I guess you could say, review appreciation Akira Kurosawa video. I'm going to go over with you the movies that I watched and my opinions of them, and because they were great films. And I really wanted to get a video out there for Luke because it was such a great idea. And the fact that I know for a fact that people got into Akira Kurosawa because of this challenge. I've always liked him as a filmmaker. I've seen a very few of his films, but they were I liked him enough to know that he was a great filmmaker. All three of these films, I fell into column B. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where you watch, I think it was one that you have seen before, and then two you haven't seen. I think that's what it was, but I fell into column B. He had three choices, and I fell into that category. But I decided to go with three films that I have never seen, and that I've always wanted to see of his. And so I'm going to go over each of those individually. And, of course, this is my response to his appreciation night. In a way, this works out better because that video was kind of cut. You know, I was really tired when I was doing it, and I don't even feel like the quality of it was really that good. And I used my cell phone to film it, and so I think in a lot of ways this will work out even more, or work out even better. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just filming in a different place this time. I'm actually in my bedroom, one of our bookshelves in the background. So just figured, what the heck. And I don't know if some of you guys are friends with me on Facebook. It was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and I got this new shirt, my birthday week, E.T. saying, "It's all good in the hood." I think Robbie Webster said he had the same shirt, and I think a couple other people got it too. But I got other cool things I'm going to show in my DVD and Blu-ray update as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the first film, High and Low. Now, I was really looking forward to seeing this film. You know, it's a Kurosawa film that's not a samurai film, and in a way, it's not like the Western style that he does. It's kind of a film noir, and it's kind of two types of films. I would consider it like a kidnap kind of film in the second part, kind of like a serial killer, you know, hunting kind of film. You know, a cat and mouse thriller in a way, detective and thriller in a way. There's no like killer in it, you know. It's just a kidnapper, and what it's about is Toshiro Mifune. I always have a problem pronouncing his name, but he's one of the greatest actors of all time, in my opinion. He's a shoe salesman, and he works for this big corporation. And through a series of events, I don't want to go into huge, you know, because I know Luke did a review on this, and other people have talked about it. I don't really want to get incredibly in depth on, you know, the certain things of the plot, just in case you haven't seen it. But he, you know, through a series of events, he gets a phone call, and his son is kidnapped. And all this the first hour of the movie takes place in his flat, and it's an amazing set. And basically, his son is kidnapped, and you know, a few minutes later, you find out that it's actually not his son. It's his, I think it was his driver, or his chauffeur, or his assistant's son. And so he was in a position of, am I going to spend all this money that I was supposed to use for this situation with my business for this kid it's not even my son? Am I supposed to? And so it was kind of like a moral conflict with him. And the first hour takes place in his apartment. And it is amazing. It all takes place right there. And it reminds me of like Lifeboat, a wonderful Alfred Hitchcock film. Rope, another wonderful Alfred Hitchcock film. 12 Angry Men in regards to it taking place in one set, pretty much, the entire film. But it's only like that for the first half, and it is probably one of my favorite beginnings of a film ever. I was telling Luke as I was watching it, I was messaging him on my phone, I was like, dude, the first hour of this film is amazing. You are going to dig it. It's awesome. And then it turns into a mystery on the kidnapping and all that kind of stuff. And it really, really is a great movie. It's one of those movies that the first half is better than the second half. Second half is still great, in my opinion, but it's hard to follow up on an amazing first half of a film. Usually, the beginning of the film leads up to the second half. The second half just starts out, sets the standards so high that it was almost impossible to top the first half of the movie. And so, I highly recommend it. It came out in 1963. It's 143 minutes. And that time, 143 minutes, feels like an hour, really. I mean, it goes by so quick. And so I highly recommend this. I have the old Criterion edition. I bought it online for like $3. They have it in a re-released edition that's even more restored on Blu-ray and everything now, so I recommend you get that version, but I'll eventually upgrade to that version. So, the next film is Cage Musa. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've always wanted to see this. I don't know why I've never seen it. It's basically the film that, Akira Kurosawa was going through a really hard time in his life personally, and he couldn't get this film financed. He ran out of money, and who was it? I think it was George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola were they basically helped save the film and financed a lot of it, and one of their deals was they were able to get the distribution rights for, the international distribution rights. It's a really cool story once you read up on it, and they basically helped make this movie happen. And that's just because they looked up to Kurosawa so much, and they really admired this guy, and they wanted to help him out. And basically, it is that Cage Musa stands for, it's Japanese. I think it's Japanese. I mean, of course it's Japanese because it takes place in Japan. I didn't know if it was a dialect or something like that had a certain name. But it's Shadow Warrior, and basically it's about a warlord that has like a petty thief be his double, in certain situations. A lot of it for protection. But once the actual warlord dies, there's this huge threat of the entire war tribe and all these different tribes around the area. Sorry, I'm having a hard time explaining this because basically they just think it'll just really change the whole civilization. Their tribe will just get destroyed and taken over and turn into this whole thing of confusion, and they think it'd be better if the Shadow Warrior, the double, is the act. He acts like he's the warlord, and that's pretty much how the movie is, and he keeps this the tribe and everything reunited, and it's an amazing movie. It's an epic film. It's a war film. It's color. It was a great color. I mean, it was a beautiful film. I love the artwork on, even the DVDs. They have Blu-rays of it out now. It's just an amazing film. And it's 180 minutes, and it went by really, really quick to me, too. Not as quick as High and Low, but this is a completely different kind of movie. And it's different because it's not, American. It's not American-like. He always made movies that were, Western, the Americas, this part of the world, the film noir, which is heavy in, the Americas and stuff. And I'm not saying it's just in America where all those films are made, but he's really all about the Western civilization, including, Europe and stuff like that. But this film wasn't. It was purely Japanese and about that way of life in that part of the world. And it was just brilliant. I loved it, and I cannot wait to watch it again. The next film is The Hidden Fortress. And this movie, I was really excited to watch this movie because it was a big inspiration for Star Wars. It pretty much has the same plot. A general and a princess must dodge enemy clans while smuggling the royal treasure out of a hostile territory, with two bumbling peasants at their sides, C-3PO. It's kind of the same thing in a way. It's inspired from it, and it was a brilliant samurai movie. I have never seen something, that was so. I don't know. I guess I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life, and I've always liked parodies and stuff like that of Star Wars. Spaceballs and stuff. But this is awesome. It was like, oh my gosh, it's Star Wars, but it's a samurai movie. It's definitely has a lot more to it than Star Wars. I'm not just saying that, but that was my initial, wanting to see it. But it ended up being better, in my opinion, than Star Wars in a lot of ways. Of course, I still love Star Wars, but it's kind of you get to know the characters, and they become real to you. Not just like, it's almost like these people are real. It was really good though. I highly recommend it, and I also got this version for really cheap, and I think it's still the version that they have out on the Criterion Collection. So this one's 139 minutes. I actually fell asleep halfway through, not because I was bored, but just because I was really tired, and I finished it. So great film. Definitely need to check it out, or you guys definitely need to check it out. So those were the films that I watched. I highly recommend you see them. I highly recommend you get involved with Luke Ryan's challenge. I guarantee you he will not care if you do it, even if it's not by his deadline that he has. Just the fact that you do it will just be awesome. And just post a video on it, leave it as a response to him, make sure he sees it, support him. He's an awesome guy. If you don't think you can do it within the time frame and stuff like that, send him a message. Say you really want to do it, but you can't. I'm sure he'll let you, post it whenever. Just please support him. And if you can't do it, even see if you can spread the word a little bit. Like, hey, remember Luke Ryan's doing this challenge. And so definitely wanted to help him out, give him a little shout out in this video in regards to that. So remember, guys, there's 3 ways of doing things: the right way, the wrong way, and the Chattaway. See ya.